We're going to be sharing with you, and hopefully it provides value to you with whatever you may be pursuing. Denver and I love YouTube, so that's what we're going to be talking about. And so we wanted to just establish the goals we have for this. So first, we want you guys to think about and see YouTube differently, because a lot of people just look at YouTube and it's like, oh, it's simple. And there are so many complexities to YouTube. And we want to share just what we've learned over the years. We want you to know what really matters on YouTube. We want you to learn how to expand a channel, find God's purpose for yourself on social media, because a lot of these things we're sharing translate over to social media and any other business. So it's not like, oh, I don't want to do YouTube. You can take this information and apply it to your business, wherever it may be. We're excited to have you guys ask questions, and we'll break them down. And then after lunch, we have a few channels we're going to be, I guess you could say, roasting, reviewing, giving our opinions and advice on. So that's the expectation. But Denver, I'll let you take it away.
Did we lose it?
My battery.
We lost it again.
Maybe we'll charge it.
Is that the guy?
Maybe.
I think so.
That's great.
Here you go.
And I could just talk. I used to be a teacher. You guys can hear me, right? We'll see if I start losing my voice.
Just in case if you want.
Maybe that is a little better. I'll save my voice. How about that? We're going to be using, if you guys are experienced with Miro at all, this is Excalidraw. It's similar to it. Awesome thing. If you guys want to use it for like brainstorming, just for your channel, coming up with ideas, you can even draw calendars and stuff. I mean, it's a fantastic program. Google Slides to me just feels kind of boring these days. So I like Miro, where I can draw and I can move around and it seems more interactive. So hopefully it doesn't confuse you guys too much as we go through our presentation. But before we begin, all of us that are coming here today, you guys are all on different levels. Justin and I are on different levels. It doesn't matter if you've been doing YouTube for 10 years, 20 years, you're on a different level than everybody around you. You will have skills that other people won't have. You will have knowledge that other people won't even be able to comprehend yet, right? That's just how YouTube is. There's some very deep, complex concepts and stuff that we're gonna try to simplify as much as we can for you guys today. We also want it to be a little complex. We want it to be a little bit dense. I never wanna ever leave a group with a feeling of like, I didn't get much. I'd rather you leave with, that hurt my brain, I got too much, right? So take your notes, take pictures of the screen and everything else, just get what you can here. And then I'll just tell you now, Justin and I, we love just talking YouTube. We love just talking anyway, but we could talk YouTube all day. So if you guys want to find us after and you're like, I got a very specific question, I was too embarrassed to ask it in front of everybody else, what should I do in this situation? Come talk to us. Some of this, like I said, may not make sense today. It might tomorrow. You might sleep on it tonight, wake up tomorrow and go, oh my gosh, I got it, it clicked. Sometimes it takes 3 months. I've helped channels where I'm like, okay, let's see what they're gonna do. And I watch the views bump up a little bit. I go, okay, good. Because that still helped them a little bit. And then 6 months later, I just see, well, whew. And I don't know if I could take credit for it, but it's like with YouTube and content creation, we don't know what little nugget of information might get in our brain and just change our trajectory forever. And that's why you may know some of this. You might think you do. I've had people say, oh, I know this. I know how to make a thumbnail. And I'm like, I've seen your thumbnails. You don't. Let me help you out with that. So some of you guys, you come with your knowledge. I'm going to try to take even the things that you do know today, and Justin and I will be able to apply even more information. You go, oh my gosh, that's so simple. Now I get it. I think of YouTube as just a big puzzle. Nobody has it all figured out. Nobody. I don't care if you're at the top, Mr. Beast. He has a team of 500 people because he doesn't have it all figured out, right? He wants more brains, more power. You got these puzzle pieces. I've got mine. Let's connect them together, see what happens. We're all on this journey to get the most puzzle pieces solved on this puzzle. And it'll never be solved, but the ones who can get the most puzzle pieces connected, they're gonna go the furthest. The one golden rule on YouTube, Justin liked this one. This is just something, there are no golden rules, all right? I might say, make sure you use bright thumbnails, right? You've heard people say, use 2 to 3 elements in your thumbnails. That may not be the case for all of you. Sometimes using 100 different elements and just making a messy thumbnail is what actually stands out. Because taste and trends, everything moves, and you gotta change with the times and you gotta adapt. Unfortunately, guys, we cannot teach you everything today, right? We've got an hour and a half pretty much of teaching. I did call it channel roast because I just like going in hard and just saying, hey, we're going to be critical, we're going to be harsh, and if we want to lighten up, we'll lighten up a little bit. We'll be kind about it, but we definitely want to make sure we help you guys. But we cannot teach everything today. We're going to talk long form videos mainly because that's what I know. That's what we kind of specialize in. Justin, by the way, Rick over here, he's a big part of Justin's team for many years. Everybody wave to Rick. Hi, Rick. Ben is with Justin as well, and Ben's been helping Justin, but we've got a lot of like YouTube knowledge here. A lot of it is long form, but it's all gonna be applied to not only short form on YouTube, like YouTube Shorts, but also Reels and TikToks, and even if you put, you know, an X post out there, you're gonna be thinking about some of these concepts because it all applies. All right, so let's see if this will work. All right, Justin, I'm gonna have Justin introduce himself. We got kind of a fun thing to do for intros. So Justin, see if you can get this.
Yeah, so my name is Justin Stewart. I used to be a waiter at California Pizza Kitchen until I got fired. I've been married for 11 years and I have 3 kids.
There we go. Great introduction. Thank you, Justin. This will come together in a second. My name is Denver Moore. I used to teach 4th grade. I've been married for 12 years. My beautiful wife is in the back. Everybody say hi, Lauren. And I also have 3 kids. Cool. All right, useful information, right? I'm gonna be kind of harsh on ourselves. Lesson number 1 today, always give people a reason why they should listen to you. That's awesome. We've been married for 11 years? 11 years, 12 years. That's cool. That's cool that we have 3 kids. How does that help you guys today? How does that establish credibility and explain who we are and why you should listen to us today? And this is something you want to do at the very beginning of every video that you make. Doesn't matter if it's a reel, a long form video, you've got a couple seconds to convince somebody that this is where they should be. So lesson number 1, give people a why to care, to continue to watch and do it quickly. So Justin, do you want to give your real intro? Here we go.
Yes, okay, so my name is Justin Stewart. I've been making YouTube videos for 14 years. And over the 14 years, my channels combined have over 12 million subscribers, over 3 billion upload views. I've created and uploaded over 2,400 videos across many different styles, podcasts, IRL, gaming, you name it. We produced our own movie on our YouTube channel and launched it and did a 6-city tour. We've done a live show. I've launched my own coffee. I've published 3 books so far and have more on the way. We've worked with Lego, Hot Wheels, Fortnite, Disney, DreamWorks, and many more big brands. And then at the same time, I used to be a waiter at California Pizza before YouTube. And I literally got fired because I was not a good worker. I was lazy. I didn't take time to do the right things, and understandably, I got fired. I've been married for 11 years to my high school sweetheart, Brittany, who is obviously not here right now because we moved to Tennessee. And I have 3 beautiful kids. I have an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So that's me.
Go.
Denver, who are you?
Who has seen Justin's channel before by chance? Have you guys seen the J Stu channel? If not, check it out. They've got some awesome things. They've kind of moved on finally in the next chapter of life, but so many great videos still exist on their channel. All right, so who actually am I as it pertains to you guys? So I hit 1 million subscribers a while back. I was big in gaming. Like I said, I was a 4th grade teacher and I just thought, man, I just love playing video games and I love teaching. I'm gonna teach video games. And I was like, I'm just gonna start teaching some tips. And maybe you guys, I don't know, do you guys play Stardew Valley? Any Stardew Valley fans in here? Oh, thank goodness, my people. That's where I got started because I used to love playing Harvest Moon on the Nintendo 64. Old school, all right, we got a couple of Harvest Moon fans. So yeah, I hit 1 million subscribers. I was like, man, I love this. I love teaching though. Before I teach, I need to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. So years ago, I said, I'm gonna start another channel. And if I can get that, if I can grow that, if I can get that big, then I'll start teaching what I know. And so in about 6 months, I hit 250,000 subscribers. I started with breaking the rules because I thought I'm just gonna do what I wanna do on YouTube. I'm gonna do the videos that I feel like making. And the way my mind works, I start following the rules and I start going, what gets views? What do people want? How can I solve this puzzle? And sure enough, in 6 months, 250,000 subs. After a while, I actually decided I'm gonna leave teaching. The income was great. I thought I'd be a fool to continue teaching at this point. Plus I wanna stay home with my family and see my kids more, right? And so that's what I did. So I've been working with some of the biggest channels on all of YouTube, including Stu, and that's how we kind of got to know each other. I've worked with, I don't know who you guys follow, but probably a lot of the channels that you know, even some big Roblox channels right now, if you guys are into Roblox. I'm not, by the way. I hate Roblox. I just help them with YouTube. I don't even know if they like Roblox, but it gets a lot of views. So hey, so they continue to do it. I just recently did sign with Mr. Beast. Just recently, which is kind of a big thing. I would love to talk to you guys about it. It took about a month and a half. They were, not to pat myself on the back, they were really wanting me. And I was like, is this something I should do? Does the Lord want me there? This makes me so nervous. Am I gonna have to move there? Am I gonna have to travel a lot? The door's just open. And I'm like, all right, Lord, I'm gonna do this. You know, if it's 6 months or a year, well, so be it, but I'm gonna give it my all. So having said all that, again, going back to lesson 1, do you guys feel like you know us a little bit more? And do you guys feel like we've given you the credibility of why we should be here, standing here today and telling you about YouTube information? I hope so. And that's something you guys got to do at the beginning of your videos, is always in your hooks, always give that credibility, right? People need to know fast why they should listen to you. How can you guys set yourself apart in your field, in your interest, or in your niche? What is it about you that you guys, for me, I was a teacher. So I would start my videos. If you guys, I don't know if you guys were familiar with my channel. It's kind of silly. I moved from 4th grade teaching to PE teaching. I used to start my videos with, hey, what's up guys? Your second favorite PE teacher, Denver. That was my thing. And it just came out one day. It means nothing unless I make good videos. But then people came to find out, this is my second favorite PE teacher. I was a PE teacher. I don't know why I came up with second favorite. They got to know me because I made good videos. So that became my hook, my credibility. I'm a teacher. And of course, kids are like, whoa, a teacher of the games. A little bit. We'll talk about filling the bubble. They're like, oh, that's pretty interesting. The things you say at the very beginning of your video will tell people whether they should continue to listen for the next second, 5 seconds, minute, or all the way to the end of the video. So you have to be like, here's why you should watch, here's why you should watch, and here's why you should watch. And then what can you offer an audience that will keep them coming back? So I pulled up Alex Hormozy, if you guys watch him. I don't watch him as much anymore, but obviously he makes some really cool videos if you guys are into business and stuff. But I want you to pay attention to his intro. Hopefully the sound comes through. In the first 30 seconds, and I'm gonna pause it at about 30 seconds, I want you to ask yourself in your mind, do I want to continue to watch this video and why? What did he do that got me to care about him, even if you've never seen him before?
This is his first piece of content I ever made.
Don't let your
This is the first ad I ever made. Fast forward today, I make 450 pieces per week. I broke the Guinness World Record for fastest selling nonfiction of all time, the $106 million in sales in the weekend. We had a portfolio companies that did north of $250 million in aggregate revenue last year. In this video, I want to show you just how far anyone can come, and not to judge your first chapter by someone else's 25th or 1,000th chapter. Also, quick shout out to Don Mazzetti. You're the one who inspired me for many things. Here's one promise I can make to you. You will be cringe.
How's that first 30 seconds? Isn't that nuts? I did this. I made $106 million on a book sale. I've been helping people in business for so many years. He spent the whole first 30 seconds of this video going, here's why you should care. Whether you've seen me or not, whether you even know my name, or if this is the first time you've ever seen me, here's why you should care, right? So some examples of how to do this, because obviously it looks different. Some of you guys come from many different niches. Business niches, like I made a lot of money and I've been doing business for a lot of years. For some of you guys, that doesn't apply at all. So what can you say, right? And David, I was gonna call out, David, I was talking to David this morning. He could start his video saying, I wrote 2 books. I wrote 2 books on this subject, right? Imagine just throwing that into your intro with, and I won't air out your niche right now, David, unless you want me to. He's into cryptids. Do you guys follow cryptids, like mythological creatures and stuff like that? So if he starts out a video with, I've written 2 books on this subject, immediately people go, oh, he's somebody to listen to. He's somebody who has credibility, and I should pay attention a little bit more closely. So for you guys, maybe you've done it for a lot of years. Sometimes that's all you need to say. Maybe some B-roll in your intro, right? If you're talking about, like, let's say board games, you could be showing you playing with people like 4 different instances, quick B-roll flashes of like, this is me, I'm into this, I'm a part of the culture, I can relate to you guys, I have information that'll be good for you to listen to, and then go into your video. Also, just your backgrounds. It's not that you need a really nice background, but maybe you got like a nice award, some books. If you are making videos on board games, what if your whole back wall is just filled with board games? Someone will see that and go, this person knows what they're talking about. And that really obscure game up there behind him, not many people know about that. That's an extremely rare one. This guy must know what he's talking about, right? So think about what people see in the first 5 seconds of your video, but the main goal, explicitly. It's got to be very clear. Whether you say it or you show it, people need to know why they should listen to you. Little side note here. I just put this just because it's like a term I use a lot. This is called audience forecasting. So a lot of what YouTubers do, and I'm going to try to explain this again. This is a complex thing, but it can be very simple. How will people respond to what you put in front of them? That stimulant, you can call it, that you put in front of them. How will they respond to that before they even do that? That goes in with our thumbnails. That, again, that's the background. If I put a YouTube award, and in fact, Justin and I, we could have planned this to where we had our gold plaques back here. We know that people who are interested in doing YouTube can look at a gold plaque and go, oh, well, they did it. They know what they're talking about. Immediately, you know, that's a simple example, but you guys would look at that and go, oh, these guys know what they're talking about. They've got a gold plaque. And if you have a diamond plaque, even better, right? But this right here, the hook and the credibility are nothing without a good reason for a person to continue to watch. You can nail the hook. You can have a good background. None of that matters unless you have a good video, right? So where's my Sims fans out there? Who's played The Sims before? Not that many. Oh my gosh, I thought a nerd culture conference. Normally I'm like, have you played The Sims? And like 90% of the time they're like, no, but I know what you're talking about. When they're learning a skill, they've got a bubble that pops up above their head. That's when they know they learned that skill, right? And then it starts over. That's how they level up in the game. Every person that comes to your videos, if they click, it's because you filled their bubble. There was a reason why, right? Let me just make this meta here. You guys are all here right now because something filled your bubble to come to this conference. This looks great. I want to meet people. I'm going to learn a ton. I want to get closer to God, right? All of these things, something filled your bubble. Something fills our bubble with everything that we do, right? And this is a big channel right here. His name is Dr. Mike Diamonds. He sent me this. He said, and you have played a massive part in our growth. So many things we apply today. The Sims analogy always at the top of my mind. I teach this to all the big channels I know because you got to think about it. Individually, can you fill one person's bubble to get them to click on your video? Can you fill millions of people's bubble and get them to come to your video? So the ones who are getting millions of views is because they're like, I know it. I know when I put this out there, I'm gonna get people to click on this. So what are some of the details about this? Everything we do is because our bubble was filled. I put a Snickers here. My wife knows if I walk into a store and there's a peanut butter Snickers, I'm in. Andy even saw me. I go, I'm eating Snickers. I don't know what it is. Those peanut butter Snickers, they're bad for you. They cost weight. It's like $3 for a Snickers now. And yet my brain's like, ooh, I want it. I don't know what it is. That's what we want to utilize for getting people to click on YouTube, right? And we want it to be something that looks so tasty, the brain just goes, I just want it, right? Bubble filled, boom. I don't even know why I clicked, but I'm in here. The best YouTubers are the best at getting people to care. They know what fills the bubble, and especially, this is the most important part, some of the things that you guys are doing on your YouTube channels are draining the bubble, right? So not only is it not filling it, but you might post something on there, like a little image, and their bubble goes, no, I've seen that too many times. I don't want that. No, thanks. And I'll give some examples of that in a little bit. So this is what we call value. You guys have heard the word. YouTubers throw it around a lot. What is value? And it's anything that we can give to people to add to their life. I hope and pray that I'm giving you guys value today. And then Justin, when he comes up, his entire goal is to give you value. We want you guys to leave going, man, that was valuable, right? We're either giving people something or we're not. And that is what YouTube is all about. It's not just like, here I am, I'm awesome, enjoy me. It's what can I give to you, right? I'm not here for anything for me today. I'm here for you guys, right? I'm here to teach you guys, give you as much as you can. Every element of your thumbnail and title or your social media posts, they fill the bubble or not. When I put a tweet out on X, sorry, I still call it Twitter. It's just Twitter to me. When I put a tweet out on Twitter, it will either fill people's bubble or not. And it's not the whole. I want you to think about it, each word, the way I capitalize it, the way I structure it. It gives somebody, it fills their bubble or it doesn't, and that's it. All right, so we fill the bubble to get the click, then we keep it full with retention. Before we talk about CTR, retention, I'm not gonna get too thick into the weeds with some of these metrics because it can be very boring, I get it. Here's some examples of value. And I want you guys to take a picture of this, write it down. What value is to me, I break it into 3 different things. I had this at the end of the presentation because to me this is one of the most important parts. Value is anything we learn, we feel, or we enjoy. That's it. And I don't want you to think like, oh, I'm teaching something on this YouTube video today, so people are gonna learn. I want you to still be able to connect with them with feel, and I still want you to make an entertaining video so that they enjoy it, right? It's all three of these things. The more you can get of all three of these things, the more people will come to you. So yeah, you guys can read. I don't need to read those to you, but you can read some of those and go, oh yeah, I've watched all these videos. Like I've gotten these things from YouTube videos that I watched. You're gonna go and scroll on YouTube tonight and go, here's what Denver was talking about. This video gives me this thing. This intro and this hook, he was very clear, she was very clear about this thing, and that's why it kept me around for the next minute or two, right? So that's value. And the more value we can pack into those videos, the more people are gonna watch longer, and the more people are just gonna click and watch, right? Value is the most important thing. That's everything that we do. Let me break down the two most important metrics, and I'm gonna try to do it in a non-boring way. Retention. You raise your hand if you've heard the word retention as it relates to YouTube. Good, hands down. Mr. Beast, you'll hear this, and all these YouTube gurus, they talk about retention. All that means is getting people to watch as long as possible. Why? Because that's a very important metric to YouTube. They want to know that people are enjoying your video, and how do they know? Because they're watching for a long time. If they click and they leave, YouTube gets that feedback and they go, that's a little strike against this person. And it is not like this. The algorithm, nobody understands how it works. But if you have more strikes than checks against you, YouTube kind of just buries you and just says, well, that's enough. They might find a place for you at some point, but for the most part, they're like, this is just too many strikes. We got too many marks against this person. We want to provide an enjoyable experience to people when they come to YouTube, and this is not providing that. So let's just throw you in the trash, kind of, in a way. And that's where we exist. Now, that doesn't mean you stay there, right? Sometimes they just didn't find the right audience, and all of a sudden you see a video that's like 200 days later just goes, whew, awesome. It was a good video the whole time, so it's a little tricky. As we approach this, just again, remember the golden rule of YouTube. There are no golden rules. You'll hear this as average view duration or average percentage viewed. Just so I know who I'm talking to, raise your hand if you've heard those terms. Okay, some of you guys, about half of you, okay. You'll see it as AVD or APV. If I ever say AVD or APV, just write that down, make a little note, you'll know what I'm talking about. Watch time is king on YouTube. Why? I think I put it here. If you can make YouTube money, they will push you, right? They're a business. So if you can keep people around for longer and they're watching longer, they get shown more what? Ads. They get shown more ads. And if you can show people a lot of ads on YouTube, YouTube will keep pushing you out further. It's an enjoyable experience and we're making a lot of money. Send this video out. Awesome. That doesn't mean the next video they'll send it out, right? So it's almost like a job interview. Every time you put a video out, you're going, YouTube, I promise you this is going to be good. You can send this out. Millions of people will love this video. And YouTube either goes, yeah, that's true, or no, that's not true. So we're not going to send you out any further. But none of this matters if you can't get people to click. None of it, right, Rick? Justin, these guys know. If you can't get people to click, it doesn't matter how good your edits are. It doesn't matter how much time you spent getting the music just right in there. If you can't get people to click, it doesn't exist. So we have this thing called CTR, or click-through rate. This is not just the title and thumbnail. You guys who are doing YouTube and you're in the trenches, you know that what comes first? Say it. What comes before the title and thumbnail? The what? The idea comes first. Everybody say idea. All right, so that idea comes first. And if your idea, and I call this the cake, if the cake doesn't taste good, no amount of frosting on top of that cake is gonna get somebody to eat that cake. It's gross. So you gotta have a good idea to start. And this is why, as YouTubers, we probably spend about, man, I don't even know, 80% of the time just coming up with really good ideas. I would say, well, maybe 60 or 70% of the time, we come up with good ideas, right? And then we can add in the title and the thumbnail, and it all works together. And somebody goes, man, that idea was really cool, and that picture got me to click, and the title just added even more to it. Boom, I'm in. Now, I put effectiveness versus beauty, because I just want to get it out there. It does not matter if your thumbnail, your picture is pretty. It doesn't matter. If you can make it a pretty picture, fine. It can be a very ugly picture, and I can show you guys some examples. But effectiveness is all that matters on YouTube. Either you put something in front of somebody where their brain goes, yeah, I want that, or you didn't. It doesn't matter how pretty it looks, right? Again, if the cake doesn't taste good, it's not good. This is mostly a subconscious response from the mind, right? That's how we want to think about YouTube. And I don't want to overuse the word psychology, but a lot of it comes down to just, does my brain want that or not? we're not making conscious decisions, right? That Snickers, I can consciously say no, but subconsciously my brain's going, it's gonna taste so good. Get it. Last time we did it, it tasted good. That dopamine starts flowing, it starts hitting our brain. Some of your guys' thumbnails can literally be just an image of something. I might refer to Pokemon cards a lot during this. Raise your hand if you play Pokemon cards. Please don't just be me. Okay, there's a few of us in here, and my wife too. My whole family's in on this. Even my 2-year-old daughter's like, I want to rip, and I'm like, dang it. One less pack for me now these days. I got to share with all of them. But anyways, yes, there's like, you could make a thumbnail sometimes where it could be just an image of a rare card. And somebody will be like, whoop, that's it. It could be an image of a rare card, and that bubble fills 3/4 of the way, and then you put the price tag under it. Whoop, top of the bubble, right? So sometimes it's just one single image. Sometimes it's several. Sometimes again, audience forecasting, that rare card isn't going to be enough to fill somebody's bubble. So what do? Let me put 3 rare cards. If that one doesn't work, these 2 might fill the bubble, right? So start thinking about that. 0 or 1, I don't know much about coding, but 0 means what in coding? 0 means what in coding? No. 1 means what? Yes. And that's how our brains work. Even if you got somebody super close to clicking on your video, it was either a 0 or a 1. You got them to click or you didn't. And you got to do everything you can, guys, to get people to click on your video. All right, we fill the bubble or we don't. Now, I just want to say, because we're all Christians here and I love this, this can be used, this art, right? This psychology can be used for good or bad. Are there some bad things in the world that you can use to get more clicks and views on your video? Yes, you can clickbait, you can use some more promiscuous things that absolutely will work, but there's moral lines that we do not want to cross as Christians. So I just wanted to note that. Here's what these charts look, if you guys are interested. Us YouTube nerds will be interested in this. Average percentage viewed, you guys can see here. So the average view duration, these always work kind of simultaneously because they mean about the same thing. YouTube's focused on this number, 4 minutes and 29 seconds. This was an 11-minute video. We got them to watch for 4 minutes and 29 seconds. This video went kind of viral, so it's actually kind of low, right? 40%, we always aim for 50%, but 40% is okay. 40% can work in some niches. But this is what the chart looks like. And if you guys are interested, you'll see this on your own videos. You see these little spikes and these little drop-offs? We used to study these extensively on like Friday morning meetings. We'd have a whole conference room of people. We'd be like, what caused this? Here's why we think that this happened. People left because we didn't give them a reason to go into the next segment of the video, right? And all of these little things, we're just learning, what does the audience want? What do they not want? How can we get the audience to want more of what we have to offer? This is what CTR looks like, and you can see this bar. This is pretty standard, where when you put your video out, maybe when you're starting a channel, some of you guys have, small channels. I don't mean that as an insult or anything, but it may not look the same. But after you get established on YouTube, big CTR out the gates. I always say like out the gate CTR, big boom, and then how does it hang? Does it find that next audience or does it not? And here's what it looks like when a video finds that next audience. We're going deeper into the metrics and the analytics just because I love this stuff. So you guys can see, I'll keep it simple. See the little green line? It didn't go up. See the little blue line? It did. So I wanted to isolate that. What do the green and blue lines mean for you guys who are interested? Browse and suggested views. Those are the 2 major sources on YouTube. Browse is typically your homepage. So when you load up YouTube and you got your homepage, usually YouTube is going, we want this video, we trust it, we think this could start somebody's session. Have you ever opened YouTube and there's like, man, there's nothing to watch, and you close out? This is what YouTube is doing. They're going, we think this video will get somebody to watch and then hopefully watch the next videos. And that's what suggested is. When you finish a video, YouTube goes, you'll also like these. Pick one of these. Come on, these are really good choices. So if you go viral on YouTube, this suggested videos right here, you can see here that this video had a huge jump at the start. Down, down, down it went. Some people panic right here and they go, oh no, my video's dying. Less people are clicking. We were at like 15, 20% CTR and now we're down at like 6, right? Give it some time sometimes. Sometimes YouTube just needs to find that right audience and off it went. And then it started doing these real big jagged like, oh no, what's this? Like up and down. That's YouTube going, there's something about this video that people like. Let's send it even further and let's see how far this can go. Here's my visualization for that. Hang on one sec. So do you guys see this? Imagine like a water droplet and you just drop it right in the middle. How far do you ripple out, right? And so what YouTube does, I'm gonna illustrate this for you guys, is what YouTube will do is they'll send it out. All these people that they think will like your video, they'll send it out they might get a lot of X's, right? A lot of like strikes, like we call them. They go, oh, no, this isn't working. No, this video isn't good. These people aren't liking it that much. They're not watching very much. And all of a sudden they find like a check mark, right? And off of that check mark, because I joke, but it's probably the truth, YouTube almost knows us better than we know us. They put videos in front of us that we go, how did they know I would like that video? I'd never watched anything like that, right? And so what happens is that leads to more checks, and all of a sudden you're over here in this huge pool of massive audience. And even though you couldn't reach these people over here, and that's why CTR doesn't go up to 100%, it's because YouTube's still going, what about over here? You know, they're finding these like little pathways to people. And all of a sudden they find a huge pathway and millions of people and they go, cool, we found the right audience, go. And that video just goes. And that's how you go viral. What I just described is exactly what virality looks on YouTube. They find that your video is applicable and enjoyable to millions of people. All right, so little rule of thumb. These right here are the stats that you want to aim for on your channel. Write this down. Rick, you might argue, I don't know, Justin, if you want to argue this, these are my goals. When I join a channel, I'm like, we can't be below 40%. We got to do everything we can to get above 40%. The ideal goal, you want 50% of that video watched. And you might ask, Denver, what about like really long videos or really short videos? If it's really short, you need to be even higher. If you're making 2-minute videos, you better get people to watch like 75% of that video, right? If you're making 45-minute or an hour-long video, you're probably not going to get 50%, but at least be around 40%, right? So these are rule of thumbs. Again, you know, there are no golden rules. CTR, same thing. Try to be above that 7 or 8%. I know with some of you guys on newer channels, YouTube's still trying to find the path for you. Keep going, keep carving out a way, but try to be above that 7 or 8%, all right? Don't get 10 impressions and go, oh no, we're 5%, like let's hit the panic button. Make sure you have a good sample size too. Make sure, you know, you get enough data so you can make these decisions, but for the most part, this is what you guys should aim for. All right. So what is CTR? What goes into it? This one's kind of funny because it's using what I here, no easy way to say this. Some people put slightly promiscuous things on thumbnails because they know it will get clicks, right? So what goes into CTR? I put little red arrows that kind of point to how your eyes work, how my eyes work. You guys might not click on this video. And again, like with YouTube, remember, it's not about what I think or what I want. It's about these masses of people that want something, right? So what do they see? They see a guy. Imagine you're a kid and you see a guy hiding in like your living room. I don't know. What's this called? TV stand. There we go. You got a secret room, a secret club in your TV stand that you can play video games in. That's awesome. That's what we did in JSTU a lot. It was like a lot of cutouts, like we're hiding in this thing, and kids go, "Oh, I love that. Would be so cool to hide in this thing and play video games, right?" So they see that, and again, their bubble gets filled, right? Wife there, and they have the wife there for a reason. Imagine a person not there, right? Who are you hiding from? So it is pretty significant to have somebody there that you're hiding from. That shows that like social, like, oh, are they gonna get away with it? Now we have questions that are coming up in our mind, like, oh, is he gonna get caught? I don't know, that's crazy. What else do we see? Every single word. Even when we capitalize words, we wanna highlight those. If we know that the word tiny is gonna be important to an audience, again, audience forecasting, we wanna capitalize that. Guys, it's not just a gaming room, it's a tiny gaming room, right? And then what else do you guys see? When you guys see a video with 279,000 views in a day, you go, well, there must be something good about this. If you see a video with 1 view in 7 days, you go, there's probably not something very good about this video. And I know that hurts, you know, might sting for some of you guys getting started. Just go through that. All us YouTubers, when we get started, that's just what you have to go through, because that 1 turns into 10, turns into 100, and all of a sudden you're getting 1,000 views on every video, right? So you do have to build momentum, but this is an important thing. You have to take into account that people might not be clicking on your videos because you just don't have the momentum yet. You don't have the social proof that people like your videos yet. What about this one? Everyday habits that are actually signs of low intelligence. Why didn't he choose high intelligence there? Because I put an extra lesson. People feel losses way more strongly than gains, right? I can give you 7 tips, or I can give you 7 mistakes to avoid. Mistakes will typically win. Yeah, not all the time, but for the most part. And that's what I did. These videos right here, these are mine. And I got 6 million, almost 6 million, and almost 4 million on these. And it's just tips videos. I said, here's how you can play Stardew Valley. I moved into Fortnite. I made this, by the way, this video right here, and this video are pretty much the same exact video. I just made one in a different game. Fortnite had a massive audience way back in the day. I didn't know it was gonna do that good. Changed my life forever. But I did avoid these mistakes. If you guys take your niche today and you go home and you say like, avoiding these mistakes or avoiding these like, fallacies or anything like that, like here's what you want to avoid if you're getting into this hobby. Here's how, 7 ways Pokemon card collectors waste money getting into Pokemon card collecting. It's probably gonna do pretty good, even if you're a small channel. This one right here, I wanted to highlight this just because again, the social proof, look, this video right here without these NBA players reacting to the Jumbotron falling in the court, empty. Jumbotron falling in the court is crazy. NBA players going, whoa, it makes it look real and authentic. Even though this is not, they carefully crafted and constructed this image to make it, remember, it's subconscious. It gets the brain to go, oh, I gotta see this disaster. And then they click it, and guess what happens? It's kind of funny. Clickbait used to be a big word. These days, not so much. People are like, go ahead and clickbait me. As long as that video is good, I can get clickbaited, that's fine. And people go into these listicle videos, like this 20 right here, that 20, anytime you can list a number at the beginning of your video, it's so much more easily digestible. People feel like they're gonna get clear value. I could do ridiculous moments in basketball, or I can do 20. 20 sounds pretty good. I'm gonna get 20 different instances of like ridiculous moments in NBA history. This one right here, I won't even break this one down, but it got 15 million views. I made that thumbnail carefully crafted and constructed. That was not a scene. It was just, I wanted to highlight and what is very fascinating. Okay, let me actually break this one down. You have NBA people, and then you have people who like romantic relationships, we'll just say, right? Interactions between man and woman, and how did it go? Was it cringe? Was it smooth? We brought in a whole bunch of new fans. People who do not have to care about NBA to care about this video. They go, man, what's that male-female interaction? That's interesting, right? And so we got 15 million views on that one. I won't break these down too much, but look at this thumbnail. Sometimes simple is better. Terraria players in here, please tell me we got some Terraria players in here. 3? What the heck? It's one of the best games ever made. Look at this guy's thumbnail, almost 1 million views. And what did he do? He made a thumbnail with some Terraria background that he probably got from the wiki and put 1.4.5. That's it. What do people want? Update and news. Here's 100 new features, 1 million views in Terraria. That's nuts. Sometimes simple is best. This one right here, I put a question for you guys. What would this thumbnail feel like if it wasn't like a little grainy? And you can't see it as well up here. If he wasn't looking at the driver, what would this look like? If he was just looking straight, he's looking at the driver, and that gives you questions like, uh-oh, am I in trouble? Am I in danger? He's looking like, are you sure? What if the driver wasn't wearing his mask? It'd be a lot less mysterious, right? All these little things, right? These small details, they can make a huge difference when filling the bubble. You gotta take control of that. You guys are in control of that. And I'll tell you in a second, if someone didn't click, it was your fault. Just remember that. If someone didn't click on your video, it's your fault, right? And if someone did click, it's your fault. Good job, you did it, right? So we wanna take control of these little details. Like, was he consciously saying, well, let me turn my head and look at that guy? Or did they go through the footage and pull a frame out? I don't know how he arrived at this, but those little things matter, right? And then sometimes, guys, I'm just gonna be honest with you, a big part of YouTube is like, let's just take 2 things that worked really well, let's combine them, and let's make our own thumbnail based off 2 successful thumbnails that are already existing out there. And this guy got 1.8 million views in 3 days on not so big of a channel. Not a small channel, but not that big of a channel. He just took Airac's thumbnail and then Tyler Oliveira. And then sometimes just make a video about Jeffrey Epstein, you're gonna get views. Yeah, it was a good video. Yeah, a little cheat code. All right, we're not gonna go into all this, but I do want you guys to utilize your camera. I don't want Justin to just be sitting here the whole time. But a couple notes from this. So like I said, if they didn't click, it's your fault. So what are the things you wanna focus on? Let me zoom in. Clarity of value. You guys might have very cool, important things on there, like for example, this one right here. This guy in a tiny coffin apartment, he chose a measuring tape on that thumbnail. That was genius, just to show, look at guys, look how small it is. Imagine that without the measuring tape. You'd go, yeah, it looks small. But a measuring tape goes, guys, this is small. It highlights the value. What's the value? How small it is. And how do you highlight that? Measuring tape. That was smart, right? It could have been him in like a little closet hunched with like a shelf with like food right here. There's a bunch of different ways you could do it, but he highlighted the value. I mean, a puppy, come on. You don't need more than that. 13 million views. Jeez, Biscuit has the hiccups. And look at Biscuit. Biscuit looks cute.
Oh, Biscuit.
Biscuit, I know. I want to hold Biscuit. Hold Biscuit's doing all right these days. Alex Becker Tech. I mean, if you're into tech and you're into money and stuff, $100,000 on my phone. Wow, look at that. Cool, I'm in. Right? And it's very clear. There's nothing else that's messy there. I want to highlight. Look at his eyes.
Yeah.
It's a deep.
Why did he do that? Because it stands out. It catches your attention. It's different. You may not even be conscious of it. This guy right here, he went to the coldest city on earth. What's the value? It's really cold. What's the clarity of that value? Showing ice on everything and how cold it is. Icicles hanging from his eyebrows and his coat and everything. Yeah, exactly. All those details matter. Very simple, right? Okay, we'll move on. The perceived value too. People will click your video if they think they're going to get a lot out of it. And so what you need to do is you need to include everything that can give you more value out of this. For example, these two here, I said a word a day for an entire year, 138,000 views in a month, not bad. I sang one word of all-star every day for a year. Much more relevant and more value, right? So we're not just saying a word, a and the. I mean, I don't know. I'm expecting it to be like kind of a cool video, but singing a word of all-star every day, I feel like I'm going to get way more value out of that, right? These ones here too, these are actually my videos. My son and I made a couple Pokemon card videos. Yeah, we had fun. But these two, I didn't put a thumbnail on there. That's low value. I mean, who cares about a Pokeball in this? I didn't want to, Evolving Skies is kind of popular in the Pokemon niche. It's cool, but look at these thumbnails. Way more clarity of value. And I made it verse. I made it a father versus son challenge. These were a verse challenge. I didn't tell them that though. So the value was lower than me saying, it's a father versus son challenge. We're still opening Pokemon cards. In the end, there's just a winner, so the value goes up, right? So perceived value. Let me scroll over here because I want you guys to take a picture of this. Purple Cow, if you guys have not read the book Purple Cow, definitely read that book. It is fantastic. It talks about standing out. It's a marketing book. If you guys are in marketing, you know it's a very important thing, but on YouTube, you gotta stand out, right? If you look like everybody else, you don't stand out, you're not gonna get the click. The so what test in marketing. Andy, you said you were in marketing, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys use the so what test still?
We do that most of the time. Actually, Purple Cow has towards the end, like a graph thing we actually use all the time.
There you go. Yeah. So you have to answer. Someone's going to look at your video. So what? So here's an example of that. This was a really good example that I had of so what. So this guy, and I don't mean to be hard on Hask games and cards, but he said, I warned you, Ascended Heroes is exploding, right? And on the thumbnail, Ascended Heroes chaos continues. It sounds kind of big, but it's like, if you're into Pokemon cards, you know that this set is exploding. All he's doing is he's telling you, bless you, all he's doing is he's telling you, guys, it's exploding. And you go, yeah, I know. Why do I click the video? Why does it matter? What will I gain from this video? Right? And so what I did is I compared it to this one. First of all, it's kind of grainy just because it's the actual video. I spent $10,000 on GameStop Power Packs. That sounds really cool. $10,000? GameStop Power Packs are new. Apparently you spend money, you get this like, it's almost like gambling basically, which I mean, I guess Pokemon cards could be summed up into that, but somebody spent $10,000. Which video are you gonna pick? I mean, if you're a Pokemon card fan, yeah, I know Ascended Heroes is big. Or, ooh, I wonder what he got. What rare cards did he get? Is it worth it? And then I thought, what are some titles he could have used? Ascended Heroes is doing what nobody thought it would. That sounds way more interesting. Now I gotta go, well, what's it doing? I gotta find out, is it good? Is it bad? I think it's good, but maybe I'm wrong. Ascended Heroes is in trouble. Will Ascended Heroes ruin Pokemon forever? That one's a little clickbaity. That one's a little bold. These Ascended, here we go. We're going a little bit further. These Ascended Heroes products will make you rich. Buy these ASAP in parentheses, right? I wouldn't personally use that title, but maybe it works for you guys, right? So all point being, there's a way stronger title than just, I warned you, it's going big. Everybody knows that. There's nothing new there. All right, the last things here, guys. Use proven formats and elephants. Did I just say elephant? Don't use elephants, use elements. Okay. And I'm just gonna highlight this one. We're not going deep into this, but it's not a secret that a lot of people on YouTube just copy, okay? I don't know how to say this. That's okay. Make it your own. Do not steal. Do not right click and save somebody's thumbnail and say, oh, it's mine. But use what works. Use what you're seeing. Let people, here, let me put it this way. Let people do the market research for you. If millions of people are clicking on this like wanted killer, genius killer, look at this guy. This probably smaller channel got 3.8 million views using the exact same text that the main channel used, right? And they've used this over and over again. If it works, use it. Find these things across YouTube, the text that matters, the images that matter. If you guys didn't notice yet, this is something big, and I feel like this video could have even benefited from it. But look in the corners. You have these like little live recording. They put that there for a reason, because they want you to feel like it's security camera and it's authentic, and you got to dive in and check it out. So again, use what works on YouTube. If you guys are trying to come up with something completely unique and original, that's fine, go for it. I'm not going to tell you not to, but understand with that comes a lot of risk. So find other channels in your niche or even outside of your niche. They're using like a really cool format on a thumbnail. Where do they put their text? How big is their text? What font are they using? Don't copy them exactly, but take inspiration from what works, because it'll save you guys a lot of time and you'll progress a lot quicker. Does that make sense to you guys? Yeah. And there will be time for questions after this. So save your questions, write them down. All right, A/B testing, very important. Definitely just be using it. I'm not going to spend much time on there. Make sure you guys have a good enough sample size. I wrote this in here. Have a good enough sample size, and I wrote isolate the variables. If you're going to try 3 different thumbnails, but how do I explain this? You want to make sure you only change one thing between each thumbnail. If I were this guy right here, I would test genius killer, wanted killer, and insane killer. One of those is going to be better. A/B test that. Then come in and change, A/B test his shirt color. Is the pink color better? Is it red or a white color? Just when you guys are A/B testing, first of all, definitely be doing it, but do it right. Make sure you get a good enough sample size. If you're a smaller channel, it might take a week or 2 before you get any kind of credible data back. And that's okay. That's fine, but still be doing it, because you can do that really quick. A lot of those A/B tests are really easy. Text?
Denver, really quick.
Yeah.
A/B test is kind of marketing speak. Can you just really quick explain that?
Yes, I will. Sorry, guys. Yeah, slow me down. Thank you, Bubba. Yeah, so A/B testing is when YouTube actually, and I've got a perfect example here. You guys can see some A/B tests that we ran here. I'm going to have fun with Jay Stu. We used to do this during our meetings. I want you guys to look at these 2 thumbnails here. If you can see them. Does that show up? I think you guys can see them. Let me zoom in a little bit more. All right, so we got a 2-panel and a 1-panel thumbnail, and they were doing bike challenges, $100 versus $10,000. So A/B testing, you can test 2 different thumbnails, and YouTube will tell you which one is performing better with an audience. Which one do you guys think performed better? Number 1 or number 2? 1. Number 1. Sorry, I tricked you. We had an exact 50-50 split, which was really fascinating, because, you would think a 2-panel and a 1-panel, like a single-panel thumbnail, would be different. The audience responded exactly the same. In that case, just pick your favorite. In this case, YouTube picked number 1. All right, same thing. I didn't trick you on this one, okay? It's not going to be 33.3 on all of these. Okay, so what do you guys think? Number 1, number 2, number 3. If you look, the isolated variable between 2 and 3 is the mean and error, which is obviously, especially it was very popular on YouTube at the time. What would you guys say, 1, 2, or 3? 3, without the mean and the arrow, just that singular image there. Now, let me tell you now, we didn't know what was going to win. We know YouTube, and we had no clue. So what do? You let the audience decide what they like. Let them tell you what they want more of. So we said, okay, cool. They don't like the 2-panel. They obviously like the bottom ones, but maybe the me and the arrow feels too fake these days. They're tired of it. Moving on. And I can rerun this test just to get more credible data.
Quick question on that.
Of course, yeah.
There's just, the percentages there are very nearly similar. Is that 0.5% that big of a deal?
Yeah, and there's actually a margin of error, right? Where if I do run this test again, I might get different results, but those are usually pretty accurate. But you'd be surprised what even a single percentage different on YouTube could be, right? Especially when you're dealing with millions of views. It's a lot. That could be between the hundreds of videos that you put out over the course of a year. We could be talking tens, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars with that singular percent. So yeah, even if it's a hair better, go with it. Yeah, and rerun the test too, just to be sure, because we might rerun it at 3 different times and get different numbers, different outcomes. But usually this is very accurate. Okay, text and phrases real quick. It's kind of funny coming up. Here, let me show you. So it is very important to put text on your thumbnails, and I was reviewing some of your guys' videos. Here's just some like, you got to make it kind of spicy, right? People want to click on something that's interesting. Some of you guys are putting too much text on your thumbnails. Now you know. Use 1 to 4 words. Use these, I read a book a long time ago called Power Phrases. Use these powerful words that like, just get like that, again, that subconscious response. So like, no way, uh-oh. I could say that right now, I could be like, uh-oh. And you guys would be like, what? That's just how our brains work. Our brains are wired to respond to certain things. I could be like, I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. I don't have a secret, but all your brains went, what? Like it's just something we naturally do. So these are just some examples. There's a million different things that you guys can do. This one cracks me up. If you guys have followed any Mr. Beast drama, this guy got millions of views with, he's done, finally over, it's done, the end, he's over, finally sued, he's done. By the 6th time, you would think the audience would be like, all right, he's not actually done. No, they're still clicking. He's still getting millions of views. People love this kind of like drama and stuff like that. You do not need to don't go into that with your channels. But text on your thumbnails is very important. Use it well, use it wisely. Don't waste your life. That's pretty powerful. Pairs very well with the title. One useless fact from every mission. Okay, that's not my niche, not my style, but 800,000 views. Okay, I like this one. This one's a really good example. Imagine this thumbnail without text on there, without install ChatGPT on your calculator. If I read that text, I'm going, shoot, I can do that. If I'm a high school kid, I'm going, I got a calculator. I want ChatGPT on this thing, right? I may not read the title, but that picture without that text would be, this might be a 10,000 view video. Seriously, text is that powerful sometimes. And then not to pick on Dan Allen, WWE, but Dwayne leaves Dan for movie. Does that make, even if you're a WWE fan in there, does that make you go, oh, I gotta see that? Not really. It doesn't for me. Like, it's just not good. There's way more powerful text that he could have put in there. Number 10, don't put number 10 in your thumbnails, guys. Don't put part 62. Don't do that. Because what happens is somebody who's gonna go, I gotta watch part 61, and all the way down to 1. Like, I don't wanna watch all those. I just want this to be a unique, cool video. So number 10, that drops the bubble, because I'm not watching parts 1 through 9. Quick rule to follow for you guys. I want to make this simple. The 1-1-1 rule, one emotion, aim for that. What's the emotion on each of these thumbnails? This guy's shocked because he just got caught. I don't know why I keep using serial killer thumbnails. Sorry, forgive me. They're just popping up and I'm going, oh man. Look, this one's fully watched too. I'm getting exposed right here. I did watch that video. This guy right here, he's happy. He's happy because he just made a bunch of money on, what's he doing? Something with washers. Start with $0. He's happy and it's free. The most overlooked 10,000 K per month business anyone can start. So aim for one emotion on your thumbnails, one question that you want the viewer to ask that they need to find out an answer to, and then one main visual element. Sometimes it could be 2 or 3, but just make sure you have one clear main element that you know is clickable. And then the degree to which the viewer feels these 3 things determines whether they click or they continue to scroll. So you can have one main emotion, but if the emotion isn't intriguing, it doesn't matter if you had an emotion at all. It didn't catch anybody. So the last things I want to show you guys. Lesson 3, get people to say, I need this. This is a video I worked on with Eric. I hit an iShowSpeed's live stream. This one with Chase Daniel, this video wasn't better. I don't know if we have NFL fans in here, but I was helping him. Shedeur Sanders in the NFL, this guy is like, if you mention his name, people are like, attack, argue. We just put him in a video. This is the #1 video on his channel now. And it's not because we did anything special in this video. It's because people are so very interested in Shedeur Sanders. And then I highlighted him in the thumbnail. But lesson 3, get people to say, I need this video. It's hard to do, guys. You're gonna spend a lot of time saying, how do I get people to really need this video? What can I put in the thumbnail? What can I put in the title? And then once you get them to click, what can I have in the video that gets them to go, oh, I need to watch for another 5 minutes. This is so good. I need to find out what happens. I use the inherent interest scale. This is just from my brain. I mean, maybe it makes sense to you guys, but everything that you put in your title and thumbnail, it's on a 0 to 10 scale. If you can get those things that are on a 10 on the scale, like Shedeur Sanders, you can have a junky video, bad editing and stuff, and they're going, oh, I want that, right? Same with, who was iShowSpeed. If you guys are familiar with him, people love iShowSpeed, so we thought, what can we do for a video with iShowSpeed? Boom, $15 million, or $15 million, not that much, 15 million views. Inherent interest scale though, you gotta get these immediate responses of people going, ooh, I want that. We use this as an example. This Nick DiGiovanni, super cool thumbnail, 53 million views. I eat the world's rarest foods. What foods are they? What makes them rare? Where did he have to go? Can I try them too? What do they taste like? That's cool. Like, this is clickbait, by the way, but 53 million views. I don't think there's a watermelon shaped like that in the video. And so just to finish, guys, my part, as Justin goes, is the final lesson: pack as much value as possible into each second. Again, I wanted to show you this again because you guys can throw these things in here. Talk to people. Relate to them. Like they need to know that they can connect with you. At the deepest parts of YouTube right now, behind all the thumbnails and everything, they just want to know that they want to watch a person that they like. They want to know. They want to feel that they know you. They just want to hang out. It's almost like having a friend, being in the room with them. So in the end, make people feel heard, validated, talk about their aspirations, their struggles. And Justin is very good at this, and he's going to share this in a second. And then enjoyment, humor, by the way, be careful with that one. Some of you guys, you might think you're funnier than you are. I'm just saying, be your harshest critic. Sometimes though, you can make like a cringe like dad joke. And I know a guy who does that intentionally at the beginning of his videos, and he knows people are going, oh my gosh. And they connect that way, right? So you can use this stuff to your benefit. But all right, I'm going to pass this microphone to Justin. I hope that was very helpful to you guys. We're going to answer questions at the end. Thank you guys. Justin, you want me to scroll for you?
Yeah.
Let me go all the way over.
Sit down and
Cool, yeah, go ahead, man.
So much good information there from Denver, and I feel like I may be repeating some things, but we really want to nail certain things down for you guys, so that way you can understand the importance of some of these points we're making. And so for me, I want to talk about a few things, 3 things specifically, and I want to start with storytelling, because as a storyteller, I think that is one of the most important things, just in general, like being a communicator. So like even doing simple things, they can go a long way. Like I'm walking around the room right now and you're probably like, oh, what is he doing? Why is he walking around the room? Why is he going back here? I'm interested. Usually people, when they talk, they just stand at the front of the room. But now I have you interested because I've captured your attention. I walked out of the room. Why am I doing that? Well, my goal as a communicator and as a storyteller is to tell a story that you're interested in. And we can do that in many different ways. In the intro of our videos, in the titles, how we communicate, I think we oftentimes don't think about the little things. And so I meet a lot of people who, when they communicate, that is the one skill that they're lacking, because they just talk and they don't really go anywhere, and they're kind of confusing. I'm writing on here right now because, again, why am I writing? I want to capture your attention. And even when I talk to my kids, storytelling and communicating is something that we have to learn and get better at, just like anything else in life. Like if you want to be a good YouTuber, you need to be a good storyteller. My kids, when we're out in public, I have to teach them, hey, when someone talks to you, and like, hey, how are you doing? You don't just say, good. Like, ask them questions. Engage with them. Follow-up questions. Like, communicate. So with storytelling, the things you want to ask yourself, there are 3 things, right? Where is this going? What's the story? Emotion. How should I feel? How do I want to make other people feel when they're watching a video? Rhythm. What's the flow of this video? When we look at our life, nothing is like a straight line. So when you're making a video or telling a story, it's like, are you just kind of being bland and just doing a straight line, or is there the ups and downs? So, like I was saying, it plays out in every aspect. Title, thumbnail, intro, description. Like, be intentional. So, looking at these 2 videos, these are both my videos. You can't see the thumbnail. I don't know why it's not there. But it's a really awkward thumbnail. Denver, is there a way to like refresh it?
If you hit refresh at the top of the screen and then just scroll to it.
Okay. Because I want you to see this thumbnail. Yeah, there you go. So, this video, how many questions are you asking about each of these? What story are we trying to tell? Overnight in the world's most dangerous hotel. I can think of a lot of questions. Spicy wasabi sauce. Now, I did this a long time ago. I did not care. I wasn't thinking about analytics, nothing. What is this? Okay. So you go over here. Let me move over. the questions I came up with. Is this a taste test? What is this? Like, literally, I don't know what's going on here. 12,000 views, right? Now we're starting to be more intentional. Here are the questions I'm coming up. Why is this hotel dangerous? How is that a hotel? It doesn't look like a hotel. It's like in the middle of the ocean. Will we survive? Like, because I don't know. This looks kind of sketch. How do we get there? Oh, there's a helicopter. Is there any other ways to get there? Because you're in the ocean. Is the only way to get there with the helicopter? What's in the hotel? What's it like during the day? At night? Who owns this? What is it? Like, how do you get in it? What's the history? I'm already intrigued. So I've brought you into this, and you're like, I want to know. Okay, let's watch the intro. Let's see what's going on here.
We're spending the next 24 hours in the world's most dangerous hotel. We're flying to the world's most dangerous hotel and staying overnight for 24 hours. This hotel used to be a lighthouse in the 60s because hundreds of ships would sink here due to shallow waters, nicknaming it the graveyard of the Atlantic. Not only is this hotel 35 miles away from any piece of land whatsoever, it is only accessible by helicopter. It's also swarming with sharks, barracudas, a hotspot for hurricanes, and constantly being renovated so it doesn't collapse and fall into the ocean at any moment. And we're going to stay the night in it. Piper, have you ever rented a hotel?
Boom. Okay, let's see this one.
Hello. Hello, guys. We're at our apartment, like huge. We just got done being goofs. The King Supers phoned us doing some Birkin, like you guys, what you asked for, yeah. California rolls. Andrew's never had this before, so I was gonna have him try it. What are you doing?
Huh? What's going on here? Okay. So like I said, every story, good story has structure. The structure you see right here. Just look at your life. There's ups and downs. You start here, you go up. Oh, there's down. The hero's journey, people coming along, go up. Highs, lows, heroes, villains, success, failure, problem, and resolution. So for us, we're an entertainment channel. And I know it's like, it can be different for different types of niches, but we're constantly having to think about how are we wanting to tell this story? And naturally, a lot of things happen because we're being in the moment, and life again is not a straight line. So but thinking about these things is so helpful. Emotion. Ask yourself questions more, then make a video about it. I thought this guy did a really good job. Buy now, pay never. The buy now, pay later trap is getting worse. And he put Chipotle here. It was like, oh, that's interesting. That is a good question. I eat at Chipotle a lot. 1.5 million views in 3 weeks. This one, the Disney vacation trap. Why is it a trap? This is a problem. He's asking a question because I'm sure he was wondering, the buy now thing I'm doing, how is it getting worse? Like, I look at people, they're going into debt, this and that. So what makes you specifically happy, scared, mad? What are you curious about? What problem can you uniquely solve? Because we're all so different. So it's like, what makes you unique? Okay, going into rhythm. It's the speed of the progression of information. Moments of fast pace followed by slow down pace. Mix it up. You set up rhythm and break it. And this is done through music choices, pacing throughout, intentional cuts. And you could see by the video up here how fast it was at the beginning. But the whole video is not like that. Because again, that would be probably exhausting to watch an entire video that's like, cuts, crazy music. Like, so again, you start it off like one way and then like slow it down, break it up. Like, how can you do that with your content? And even if it's in short form, these are just things that are so important to just think about as a storyteller. Like, if you can get better at storytelling by rhythm, thinking about the music choices, the pacing, the cuts, you're only getting better, and you should inherently then get more views because you're understanding, oh, I'm bringing people in and they're engaged because I'm doing this. Oh, what can I do differently next time? Like what Denver showed in the analytics, because I think Denver's so awesome. He loves the analytics. Me, on the other end, I'm more not as deep into the analytics and more in the creative side of things. So thinking about those things, though, is important, and looking at those graphs and being like, oh, people dropped off here. Why did they drop off here? Okay, pacing. Maybe the scene was way too long because they're like, okay, I got the point. I want to skip ahead. So at the end of the day, we're always trying to get better, even if it's just 1% better. And so if you can be a better storyteller, then you're going to make better videos. Okay, next things, aside from storytelling. Team building. So doing YouTube for 14 years, for most of our career, me and Andrew is my business partner and close friend that we ran the channel with. Me and him did it for, oh man, I think 7-ish years by ourselves. And then we got it to a certain point, and then we're like, well, we want to be able to do more, and asking that question of what is necessary for the growth and longevity of our business. Because at this point, we're getting lots of views, lots of subscribers, and money's coming in, but how do I take it to the next level? And we started bringing in people. And so we had to think about, okay, if me and him were this, we're handling everything. Think about the body. Like you need the head, the hand, the feet, the legs in order to move properly and go faster if you want to run. So how can we take things and delegate off our plate so we can continue to run and operate better? And if you guys want to grow your business, you got to be thinking about these things. Like, what are you good at? And maybe what are you not so good at? Maybe you got all the smarts, but you really can't run that fast, or you can't lift that heavy. So who can come in and help this? We had to think about it. We brought on Rick, actually, as our first employee, our first full-time editor. And once we started bringing in people, we were able to like scale to a completely different level, and never even thought about that like for the first majority of our career, because we're just like, oh, we're getting it going. But once you start thinking, instead of just thinking in the now, thinking a year ahead, 5 years, how big do I want to take my business? Do I want to take it to here? Okay, if so, what are the necessary steps to do that? And so you ask that question, who do I hire? But I think before you even get to that, you got to go over here to culture for yourself. So there's two sides, right? What are your values? Where do you draw the line? How do you care about others? What are you about? There's the bad side of things. You're only looking out for you. The good side, you're looking out for others. It starts with you and the habits you create for yourself and the way you want to operate and run your business. If you can create that now, you're going to have a successful growth. And I've learned so much because there's no playbook for YouTube. When I got in 14 years ago, it was just for fun. I wasn't like, I'm going to turn this into like a business or anything like that. And along the way, I've had to learn, I've had to fail a lot, and I made many mistakes along the way. But that's okay, because that's a part of learning. And so if I could share anything, is like culture is one of the most important things if you want to not only grow as a person, but grow a business, because you can bring in the right people and you can bring in the wrong people. And it starts with you, though. You have to take ownership and be like, what type of company do I want to create? What are the values that we all collectively stand for? Because if you're not being clear with those things, you're going to have this. People over here talking behind your back and like excluding you. Or do you want to work together? Even if you do everything by yourself right now, you need to be thinking ahead. What kind of culture you're creating? So kind of just repeating what I said. What are your habits? What are your routines daily? How are you bettering yourself? Where do you need to improve? Do you have boundaries? Even outside of just your business, how are you bettering yourself mentally, physically, spiritually? If you aren't failing, you aren't learning. And if you aren't learning, you aren't improving. If you want to get better at something, get comfortable saying success looks differently for me than you. If you're not getting better, you're getting worse. So I think if you can just start with yourself at the end of the day, better yourself, not just in your business, but like for me, I'm like, I want to get better at my physical health. I've put that off for a bit. So I'm gonna work on improving that. And what I've noticed by just doing that is by making an effort to improve myself in that way, I then want to eat better. And then I want to be a better influence to the people around me. I want to be a better leader to my family and show them, oh, here's how you do it. And that inherently is then going to impact your business. So let's be a people, especially as Christians, let's be like the most on fire, awesome people, best working environments on the planet. And it starts again with the culture. Okay, so going back over here, who do I hire then? Asking yourself, okay, what is your biggest need if you want to grow? What will help you get to that next level? What will help free up your time? You can't do everything unless you want to. Some people do, and that's fine. But it's like if you want to be to a certain level, you can't do everything. Again, like the whole this. You're going to get tired at a certain place. Like if I wouldn't be here today if I didn't scale with my team, having Rick come on. Because like me and Andrew were editing all our videos by ourselves, but I'm not an editor. Like I don't know how to really do all the crazy, cool, fun graphics and timing, and that would take up time. So when we bring in somebody else, like Rick, he can then work on the edits because he's good at that, and I can actually spend more time now coming up with better ideas, working on my skill, being in front of the camera, communicating. So we got the delegation fund. I thought this was good. What are jobs others can do? Jobs others can do, but you can help them. Jobs you can do, but others can help. Jobs you must do. So there's all the different things, jobs I must do. It's not, if I bring on Rick, it's not his job to be in front of camera. I can't do what he's doing, but I need him. So when you look at what you're wanting to do, how can you bring on other people to handle the things that you're doing? And there's that quote too. It's like, show me the closest 5 people to you and I'll show you your future. I think that's so true. So it's like, if you want to be like Mr. Beast, he wants to be best in the world. So he might be hiring 500 people, but he's not hiring just random people who don't have any credibility. He's hiring the best of the best because he's not good at everything. I'm not good as good at analytics as Denver. So that's why we brought Denver on, being like, hey, help us because we want to get to this next level. You don't have to be the one-man circus show trying to grow. Until we can manage time, we can manage nothing else. So for us, this is kind of what it looked like. Editors, we need help with ideation, production, so buying props, locking in locations, emails, construction. Now, it wasn't like that forever. Again, I've been making YouTube videos for 14 years, and we had moments throughout the 14 years that we changed. If you're not changing, if you're not reinventing yourself, are you really growing? I could look back to multiple points where if we didn't change, if we didn't reinvent ourselves, then I wouldn't be here today. We were doing pranks for so long, but if I was still doing pranks, I wouldn't have grown. And we went 7 years without hiring anybody. So you might be like, well, I don't have any money to bring on people. And that's okay, because I was there too. But as you continue to learn for yourself and expand, you can, at least if you're thinking about this now, because I feel like for the majority of my career, it's like, I didn't consider this stuff. I was just like, I was a young guy, I'm 32, so 14 years ago, I was just right out of high school, not thinking about business, not thinking about analytics, and just getting by. But now more than ever, I'm like trying to consider these things as like, how can I take things to the next level? And I learned so much through that. Okay, and the next thing, and one of the most important things is purpose. So let me zoom in here because I like to, okay. Why do you do what you do? And what has God gifted you with? I think there's 2 sides here. There's the wrong pursuit and there's the right pursuit, right? The wrong pursuit, you start chasing money, you start chasing fame and numbers. The other side is chasing impact, chasing legacy and mission. What are the results of both of these sides? This side leaves you empty, never-ending pursuit, burnout, no meaning. The good side, fulfillment, deeper meaning, impact, restoration. Your work is then redemptive. So we lead by example. How are you leading the people you are following? And this all plays a role in purpose, I feel like. So as Christians, these verses, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord and not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Jesus Christ. Commit your work to the Lord and your plans will succeed. There's profit in hard work, but mere talk leads to poverty. So you were sent here to do something valuable. You were not a mistake. God has something he created you to do. And I think I actually have struggled with this over the years myself. Doing videos for 14 years, I had a moment where I wanted to completely give up on YouTube because I'm like, I'm not doing enough. At the time, I was doing these fort videos in stores where we're just making these goofy forts in a toilet paper aisle. And they were doing really well, and a lot of people enjoyed it. But at some point, I was like, man, is this really all that I'm supposed to do? I'm not even talking about Jesus. I'm being a goofball in the store. I'm an adult acting goofy. And so I was struggling a lot. And I had multiple moments like that. And so I think I had to bring myself back to, okay, what why do I do what I do? What has God gifted me with? And not being so legalistic about it. Because when I look at the messages that I have received because of our work, it kind of sometimes would blow my mind. Somebody being like, oh, you helped me when I was super depressed because of that toilet paper fort video. So the time that I was feeling so like lost, somebody was like, this was, you helped me in this moment. And that obviously is only the Lord. And one of my favorite verses is Romans 8:28. So God works all things for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. So he can use a goofy situation like mine of being this toilet paper fort video guy and use it for good. He can use your unique ability, whether that's Dungeons and Dragons, whether that's Pokemon. If you're intentional about it and thoughtful, man, you can go so far, especially as a Christian. That's why I'm like looking at life when you're lost. People who aren't believers, it's like the greatest tragedy is life without purpose. So here's this verse. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him and he will make your path straight. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and shun evil. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. I feel like a lot of us can relate to this, we're like all over here trying to figure things out. But trust in the Lord with all your heart in all your ways and he will make your path straight. So you might feel like, how on earth can I turn this into something? He can use this and straighten out your path. And that doesn't look like it's just like a completely straight path. He's going to bring you on an adventure, a journey. He's telling a story in your life. And all we got to do is go there with him. And so coming over here, the creator gives purpose to the object. So this is just a chair, right? If you don't use it right, it will leave you unfulfilled and frustrated. So it's like if a chair is sitting here and you're using it as you turn it upside down and use it at a table, you're like, what was the point of this? Like the chair and bringing it back to God. He made you intentionally with purpose, a unique gifting that the world, he wants to tell his story through you. So these questions I think will help you guys when it comes to purpose. Who are you here to serve? What problem are you called to fix? How am I called to fix the problem? So if you're feeling like, I don't know what my purpose is, ask that question. Who are you here to serve? What problem that you can fix? How are you called to fix that problem? That will help, I feel like, give clarity to the unknown and the difficulty of feeling like I struggle with this purpose. Because I had to kind of address this with I'm not doing enough. But who am I called here to serve? I have an audience of families and kids. So clearly I'm here to serve them. What problem am I called to fix? I feel like the world is so full of dark entertainment and things that aren't helping kids. So I want to fix that problem. I'm writing books because I feel like there are books in the world that are just garbage for kids. So I want to fix that. How am I called to fix it? Through entertainment, through books. And it's okay if there's unknowns here because we don't have to have all the answers. We just have to have faith and God can work through that. Even right now, I'm dealing with that. I ran JSTU for 14 years and I decided to end it with my business partner in December. 8 million subscribers, millions of views, comfort. It's no more. As of December, we're not uploading on our channel anymore because I feel like I'm changing and God is calling me in a different direction. And I want to be faithful to that. There's a lot of questions there now, going from I'm comfortable to now I'm uncomfortable because I feel like God's calling me here. And you probably can relate to that, being like, I don't know what to do. I don't know where I'm going. A lot of us don't actually choose to change because we fear change. We're afraid of the other side of fear, of change. Fear. How am I going to get money? How am I going to support? All understandably things that we deal with. But I understand it. But the journey with God is the most exciting journey. And so if we would learn to increase our faith, I think that would help us so much. And how do you increase your faith? By understanding the object of your faith more. Who is the object of our faith? Jesus Christ. If you want to be a more courageous, outspoken Christian, then you need to strengthen your faith. You need to strengthen your understanding of who Jesus is and how he operates. What does he think of you? So here are indicators from finding your life's purpose. Serving your Creator ultimately brings peace. There's passion and profits, I feel like, through our life's purpose. But now, our one life's purpose is to serve our Creator while serving others. So how can you be intentional with the uniqueness that you have? Whether that's, again, D&D, Pokemon, or your personality. How can you do that to serve other people? Because I can't reach the people you reach. I'm not a nerd. But that's okay, because there are so many people out there who need people to relate to them, who understand them. I understand and relate to a certain group over here. We all relate to certain people. And so own that, be okay with that, and serve them while you're serving God. No matter whether you eat, drink, do it all for the glory of the Lord. And so at the end of the day, as creators, if we can do that, if we can just simply do that, I think we have a life well lived. And so at the end of the day, if we are improving being good storytellers, if we're thinking about team building, I think we're gonna find a lot of success. And so that is what I have for you guys. And me and Denver are really excited to break down questions. I think we're doing that after, right? Yeah, we'll do it after. So.
All right, I know you guys are hungry. We're gonna let you go for lunch. Save your questions. We went from like big, think of everything about YouTube, and now we're gonna bring in and how it applies to you and your channels, your specific niches. Come ready to learn. Bring your channels, don't be shy. We're gonna talk through as many as we can and help you guys out so you can leave here today with not just abstract information, but concrete information that you can use today. Other than that, bring your questions, and we'll see you guys after lunch.
What time? 12:30. 12:30.
12:30, yeah. You guys got a few minutes, go. Yeah.